Hi, Rose. I'm gonna just show you how can we use the application Postman to get data by requesting specific URL address or specific API address as you mentioned. So first of all, we have to download the Postman application, but it's available for all platforms. Mine is Mac. Yeah, don't worry about it. You can just also download it for your Windows Windows machine or any other machines. Yeah, so we first just click this application. It's gonna take a while to load. Okay, first we will see this can pop up. Actually, ignore about it because there's no need for you to create a request collection. This is just like for a lot of like advanced features. You can just to explore it later. But currently, there's no need for us to know about it because we just simply need to we just needed a simple usage of like sending request and filter something with the parameters provided by a partner, right? So let's just simply close it. So here, what we are gonna just focus on is only this panel. Within this panel, there is like a URL bar. You can copy paste whatever URL you want to request. Okay, then here's like a send request method. This request method is like this is the properties that defines in which kind of method we are gonna send a request to the server side. Don't worry about the definitions of the request method because usually because first the method most of the time it will be the default one get. You can simply choose the get or simply just keep the original one as it is. But if that is not the one the API is supposed to get, so we can just ask our partner to get the specific method we are gonna use for this API request sending. So and another is like a sending request button. Here's like launching a request sendings, and a save is like save your request and with other data sent from the backend server. And here is like all the different columns for the data after you send a request. The data will just come back from the server. Here's like a lot of like different columns to categorize the data's each part. So here I'm gonna just to make very short examples for you by requesting to my previous freelance job server. So here's like a system I built for my friend's company, but no worry, I'm gonna just to explain it as simple as possible. In this part, this is their business module. In this business module, you will see a lot of like business items. Each item of the grade of the table is a specific business info. It's like a region name and just like a address, level, and customer name, telephone number, and businessman, designer, businessman, and also the business source, and also like a time, etc. So here's a list, and then we can just to filter the list by appending by typing whatever values we want to put. Then it will just according to this value they will filter out which business item matches this value we typed in. So here is like a level. So we can see a lot of business with the A level, also a B level. Let's jump into the next page. We can see B level. Also, we can jump into the okay. So here's no level. Sorry. We can jump into some page with the business C level. So if we want to just only see business with the level A, we can simply type A C. All the business with level A will be just popped up. Here's like this is just like what I said, it's a filtration, but it's only in the website page. So how can we just filter it by requesting our API? Here I'm gonna show you. So I already just prepared a request for you because yeah, we can save a lot of time because you can just get a API URL by asking your partners what is the API for example, the country list, what is the API for the activity list or whatever. So here's my request. I'm gonna just to shorten it to make it as simple as possible, to remove any other unnecessary things. Just give me a sec. So here, we're gonna just copy it and paste into the address bar. So here, and the requesting method, I'm gonna just keep it as the default one, get, because this is a API request that will accept a get as its requesting method. Yeah, let's then send a request to the server to see what to see what we can get from the server side. See, click the send. So we get a lot of data informations. Oops, there's something wrong here. Let's see. Error message. Oh, sorry. Maybe I just. Oh, sorry. I reduced something which is quite essential for the server side. Give me a second. What's wrong with it? Okay, so yeah, okay, sorry, my fault. So here, this is something we get from the server side. So we just copy paste our API address into the URL bar. Then we click send with a specific requesting method. Then you will get all the data from the server side. So it looks like a little bit just like ugly, and all the things will be like into one big chunk of data. It's really hard for you to analyze it. So here's like some format. We can parse the data by JSON, by XML, by HTML, by text, by auto. You can try any of these to see which one looks prettier. Then you can use that one. So here we're going to use JSON because I know this data is based on the format of JSON. But for you, actually, most of the time the website will use JSON data as its default data format. No worry, you can try any of them to see which one is the prettiest one, the most beautiful one, most pretty one. Then you can use that one. So we get the data we want, and we can, here we're going to just copy it and paste into the text editor. Now you can see a lot of like data properties and data values. It's the properties. You can see the property address, and the value is 23-1-402, right? So here's like all the data the website will be just based on to present in a web page. Oops. Okay, so here's like the data we just get from the specific URL. But how can we just to put any other customized filtrations on the URL? I'm gonna just first I'm gonna just anatomize, just like explain that how the URL is combined or composed. The URL can be split into three parts. The first one is this one, and then it's a question mark. Then is all the things following the question mark. So the first one is domain name. The first one is like the domain name is the one I just highlighted, and also also the other just like the subcategories, then the specific file name. But here subcategories sometimes will be like multiple subcategories, just like slash or like main slash or test. This is just like folder names in the server side. There's no need to worry about it. So what we are gonna care about focus on is the question mark. Question mark is like a splitters that we're just like splitting all the things I mentioned before and all the other parameters following the question mark. So this is something you have to just put your high attention on. This is like querying parameters. You can see action equal get business aggregations and is that equal false. Here's a lot of conditions to to filter the data we just get from the data set, from the backend the data set or database, whatever. So actually each of the condition or filtering parameters is like is like in this format. This is the minimum set of the uh, condition. Condition is like is composed with two things, or with three things. The first one is the name. Here the name is action. The second one is the equivalent symbol. The last one is the value. So this is the value of the name, or we can say this is the value of the properties. So here is like we can tell from the pattern that what this pattern is used to do. So this pattern is used to filter all the data with an action, and the action's value is get business aggregation. Also, all the conditions, all these patterns will be splitted by a symbol, which is an and a symbol. You can see here, right? And, and, right? Etc. A lot of and. So here is like is frozen is equal to false. So the property name is frozen and the value is false. All the data with is frozen with the properties is frozen as false will be filtered out, or is waiting equals to false. So I'm gonna just use an example. You just told me days ago we had a phone conversation. You just told me in the conversation we had days ago, right? So you just mentioned we will just like filter some for example, we're gonna just filter the continent under the countries from the whole world. For we will just we assume that this API so this API we will get the world, all the countries in the world, right? And the searching pattern is continent equivalent to what? So the Europe is like the property continent's value. So if we just append this filter behind the URL, we will get all the countries only located in the continent of Europe in Europe, right? So all the European countries will be filtered out. So without putting these parameters, all the countries in the world will be retrieved from the server. So this is like how we can put our parameters into this URL, then filter out whatever data we want, right? So here we can see we have already used this one. I'm gonna just live demo it for you to see it more clearly, have a better understanding of what is going on here. So this is the UI we just used, and we get all the business items from the server side. But just like what I show you in the web page, I want to only filter the business items, all business items with level A. So that will be less than all the business items. So we are gonna just append the property, like a property will be like level equivalent A. So this is the searching patterns. We're gonna just put the searching pattern after the whole URL, but because we already have a lot of like searching patterns. If we want to add one more, we have to just put an and symbol first, then paste your like searching pattern. So now through this URL, we will just get only the business items with level A from the server side. So we just like copy it and paste it. So here is the URL. It's a new URL. We'll just retrieve all the business items with only level A from the server side. Or we click send. See, also a lot of data, but this time will be less because I can show you more clearly. Because see, here's the data, and you can see the level. The first one, the level is A. Level A, level A, level A. All the level will be A. This is our result. This is the result with a new patterns attached. So I think this is kind of like a very simple and brief introductions of the Postman and how can we just append parameters into the specific APIs to get some data. I hope you can just to understand and know how to control and handle this stuff. But just let me know if you have any questions in terms of these areas or in terms of this topic, and I hope I can just solve it ASAP. Yeah. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Let's just wrap it up.